Long Island.
All right, Keith, so this series, it started back in 1895. They're ready to get after it again tonight. We'll be back with the face-off from Bird Stadium right after this. Ira Hochstadt trying to get the Terps going as the Maryland fans.
But can he score, Scott? That's the key. His son, Scott, has been shut out, which is a big story in this game as Eric Wheaton takes off.
We talk about the tradition of this series, and nobody knows more about that than Maryland attackman Scott Hochstadt. It's a long tradition, and Rick White takes a closer look.
Right now, Scott Hochstadt is an All-American lacrosse player at the University of Maryland. But he wasn't the first and may not be the last. Now, when you think about lacrosse, you think about family. It's a sport that's passed down from father to son, from brother to brother. Yes, when you think about lacrosse, it's a family affair. The Hochstadt tradition started with Ira, who was an All-American player back in the day, and he wanted to pass on the love he has for the game along to his two sons.
I was always with them in lacrosse, and I coached them until they went into high school, and I think it was really in a family and affair. Lynn sacrificing dinners so we can go to practice, sacrificing carpool to pick them up, I think it's brought our family closer together and stayed close.
And Scott and Craig have stayed close, first going to Boys Latin and then to Maryland.
Craig's always been a tag along. He's hung out with my friends, all the older guys growing up, and he's just picked up on what we've done and just followed my footsteps, I guess.
But following in footsteps seems to be a good pattern in this family.
Both my parents went here, and my brother goes here, and I knew that coming here, the atmosphere. I've always went to games with my brother and my parents since I was little.
But Mom knows both brothers are supportive of each other.
I see Scott and Craig come home from college, and I would think after days of practicing, they just want to put their feet up, and you turn around, they're out in the backyard shooting at the golf.
It's been fun to have him on my side, and hopefully next year he could fill in my shoes or just, contribute any way he can.
And Dad even contributes, still in the backyard.
Every once in a while, Scott and Craig will say, "Dad, will you have a catch with me?" They don't have anybody else, and it's a proud feeling that after all these years, they still come to me and say, "Let's have a catch in the backyard. I want to shoot at the goal. Would you pass it to me?"
And if Craig has children, will they go to Maryland?
Never know. Not going to push him, just like my father, Just my parents never pushed me, but, I never know.
Yeah, you never know, but I wouldn't bet against it.
Nice look from Rick White as the Hochstadt tradition carries on. Scott, of course, a senior, but Craig's going to be around for a while, and Ira will be there cheering for him, I guess, and Mom.
Great kids, and I know Ira well, and he's really one of the best fathers you can ask for as far as being a sporting dad.
There you see the score. We'll return to Bird Stadium right after this.